Hi, Tom here from the Dreamcast Junkyard. Now this is quite cool. This is a first look at the unreleased Sega Megadrive Emulator demo from Sega. This is an official thing that they were working on. I think it was actually just for internal testing and that kind of thing. But a friend of mine from the internet has found this collection on a GD-Rom. It's on the screen now. And yeah, he's actually dumped it and sent me the link. And I've put this onto a SD card reader, and I'm actually playing this on a PAL Dreamcast, and I'm recording this footage through an Elgato using the composite cables. And yeah, as you can see, when you start the game up, you get this really nice menu. All of these games are actually bundled on the file, and so you can see here that there are quite a few. Obviously, they're not all Sega games. You've got things like Flashback there and Hard Driving, Gunstar Heroes, James Pond. I just wanted to go through this list and show you how many ROMs are actually contained on this. Now, information about where this actually comes from is a bit mixed. A guy who I know who actually used to work for Sega Europe tells me that this was only for internal testing of Mega Drive emulators, but somebody else told me that this could potentially have been the groundwork for a full-blown Mega Drive compilation for the Dreamcast, which would have been better than the Smash Pack. Because the emulation on that's not too good. That said, because this is actually not a final emulator, some of the emulation is a bit ropey, and you'll see that in some of the games I'm going to show you in a sec. I just wanted to go through the list first and show you what's actually on here. There are a lot of games, and they don't all run perfectly, but a lot of them do run quite well. I'm using this in the 60Hz mode, because you do get the chance, or the choice even, when you turn the game on for the first time, whether or not to play in 50 or 60 Hz. So let's go ahead and look at Afterburner 2. I'm really impressed by how sort of professional the menus look. You can tell this isn't like a fan-made thing. You can tell it's been made by somebody who knows what they're doing just because of the way the transitions come in. Now, one of the first things you will note is that the music is quite glitchy as well on some of these ROMs, and that's, again, probably down to the fact that it wasn't actually finished. This was just for testing purposes as far as I believe. And yeah, you will also note that some of the graphics are a bit crude. You can see that skyline effect there with the sea. The vanishing point for the sea is a bit dodgy. I don't think it's that bad on the actual proper Mega Drive version. And yeah, it's not the best. And again, as you can probably hear, the sound's a bit glitchy. But when you pause the game, you press all four of the face buttons at the same time, you can go back to a menu. Here it is on the screen. And that gives you things like options, the controller configuration, language. You can even change the setting, the 50 Hz, 60 Hz, the territory of the game. And then once you go back to the quit menu, the quit option, it takes you back to the main menu with this nice Sega logo, and then back to the main splash screen. Press start, and then obviously you can see it's got full VMU support. The VMU I'm using is actually full at the moment, so that's why it's just saying quit. But let's choose something else. I did notice there was a FIFA game on here, so let's have a quick look at that. This is probably the only time you're ever going to get to see FIFA running on a Dreamcast, obviously because EA didn't support the Dreamcast. But here we go. This is FIFA International Soccer. If you can hear that, you can tell that it's quite slow, and some of the intro screens on some of these games are like really slow and drawn out. But when you get into the actual game proper, it works just as you would expect it would work on an old Mega Drive. Again, sound is an issue, and there are a few graphical issues in the menu. But let's just get into a game, and you can see FIFA International Soccer running on a Dreamcast. It's a far cry from FIFA 2017, but this is where it all began. So you'll hear in a second that the sound isn't all that. The sound effects of the ball being kicked are quite basic, but it plays really well. It moves just as well as it does on the Mega Drive, and it's not as slow as I was maybe thinking it would be. So yeah, it plays perfectly well. I'm in the white, by the way, just in case you wondered. So the controls on the Dreamcast controller are mapped to the X, the A and the B button. So you've got A, B and C in a kind of a, the 3-button array. That's enough of that. Let's go back to the menu. I'm not editing this, I'm just showing it as it happens, so you can see it all kind of in real time without any jumps or cuts, so that's why you keep seeing the main menu screen. But let's have a scroll down. Gunstar Heroes, let's have a quick look, see how that plays. Treasure logo there, classic 3D box type thing. So yeah, you can see here that there's quite a lot of corruption there in that little intro section, and again with the logo for the game. However, I was quite surprised when I actually played this that there was none in the actual game proper. It's a great game, Gunstar Heroes, and yeah, this is perfectly playable. There is a little bit of slowdown every now and then, but there's nothing really that noticeable, and yeah, it just plays brilliantly. You can actually use the analog stick as well to control the fire, or the angle of the fire. So yeah, you can just kind of spin it around, you know, rather than cutting your fingers on the Dreamcast D-pad. Okay, before I get carried away and just carry on playing this all the way, let's move back to the main menu. And there is one game I want to show you. I want to give you an idea of the kind of corruption that some of these ROMs have got. Again, I keep repeating myself, but it's probably down to the fact that this wasn't actually finished and it's just like a test version of an emulator. So let's have a quick look at Outrun. It's here somewhere. There we go. Outrun. Obviously, Outrun is available on the UCD GameWorks and can also be played in Shenmue. But yeah, this is kind of an example of the different kind of corruption you can get. So you see there on the screen, you've got loads of graphical oddities, and then the screen here just kind of flashing and messing up. So it's kind of playable. You wouldn't want to play this, not like this anyway. So yeah, I think I'll just stop playing this one now. Let's move on to something else. I think we'll have a little bit of Sonic. You will note that on this list, you'll see that Sonic is on there, but it's the Smash Pack version. And then you've got Sonic 2 and 3. And there's also the Sonic Compilation, which with all the games on one cartridge, so I'll go for that one. With these Sonic games on this disc, you can kind of tell whether or not they're going to be slow or not by the way the Sega logo kind of loads up. So if the Sega logo is, you know, as fast as it is on the Mega Drive or the Genesis, then you know you're going to be able to play it. If it's really slow, like it is on Sonic 2, I believe, the standalone version. So yeah, so there you go. It's quite fast and as you would expect. However, there's no music in the intro on this. You do get the odd graphical glitches of Sonic's body kind of coming through the banner there. But I'm happy to say, apart from the fact that there's no music, it does play quite well. That said, I'm pretty sure nobody wants to see me play Sonic 2 with no music, so let's move on to another game. This is Thunder Force 4, when I can get the words out of my mouth properly. And again, this is one that works quite well on this emulator. I've got fond memories of Thunder Force 4 from when I had it when I was a kid on the Mega Drive. And I used to love this intro with the word Thunder Force kind of scrolling across the screen. So this is just indulge me for a moment while I watch this. Bringing back some memories. Yeah. Awesome. Awesome. So let's get into the game proper. And this will hopefully show you how the official emulator, as I'm wont to call it, handles things like multiple levels of parallax scrolling. So you can see here, it actually works quite well, and there's not actually any slowdown, not at the moment anyway. It moves really smoothly and plays just as well as I remember it playing on the old Mega Drive. There was a little bit of corruption at the top of the screen there, and a little bit of slowdown when this kind of like man-faced worm thing appears at the bottom of the screen. But it's still perfectly playable. You get all the sort of screen transitions, the sunset. So yeah, Thunder Force is quite playable, but that's enough of that. Yeah, it's a really interesting little look at, you know, maybe what could have been. This ROM is now available for you to download. If you go to the Dreamcast Junkyard, there's a link in the description to this video. You can actually grab the ROM from the link on the site, put it on an SD card reader or put it on a disc, play it in your Dreamcast, and hopefully somebody with you know, Dreamcast programming knowledge can maybe dig into this and get it working better than the one on the Smash Pack. But yeah, that was just a quick look at the emulator. Hopefully you found this video interesting, and as ever, thanks to Compilation for finding this, and also thanks to you for watching. Goodbye!